what are blockchain's biggest problems at the moment, and how are you fixing them?
Blockchain's biggest problems, other than a number of cowboys in the space that are taking advantage of free-flowing, crowd-funded token raises, outside of which I would say the lack of usable product attached to the technology, and also a lack of awareness about what the technology is really useful for.
Yeah, yeah. It's those cowboys which are obviously attracting the attention of regulators and maybe starting to hamper innovation a little bit. Do you think, in terms of regulation, the regulators are doing a good job, or?
I think regulation to date has very much been focused on regulating where fiat money, so normal money, comes in and out of digital assets. And they've really been trying to understand the space for the past 5 years. In many territories, they've been applying traditional type regulation to financial products, to digital assets. That's been useful in one way. In other ways, it's stifled innovation. I think one of the biggest problems is that the United States hasn't set out their regulatory position yet. And I think most jurisdictions around the world are worried and concerned about doing so until the states do, just in case any rules that regulation that they release runs counter to the regulation that the states retrospectively release. And that comes with the obvious problems of natural persons in one country not breaking a law there, but breaking a law in the States, and then law enforcement coming after them in that country. So I think people have been, or regulators have been rather timid about setting out full regulatory positions and frameworks until the US does.
Yeah, agree. So, talking about the blockchain industry, will layer 2s always be necessary, in your opinion?
Well, there's been a concept that's been floating around for a rather long time that there would be an Ethereum killer, or a one chain to rule them all. And I think most layer 1 chains have now come to the conclusion that that is not the right approach, and that they need to be connected to their other chains, most of which are all built in silos. And with that, layer 2 platforms have come into the forefront, and so I think they're definitely here to stay. Whilst there's going to be more than 10 layer 1 blockchains in the space.
So
yes,
you
for now.
think that there's going to be a multi-chain future?
I definitely do, but at the same time, I think there'll be a consolidation of layer 1 blockchains, and with that, there'll be a consolidation of layer 2 interoperability solutions, connecting the consolidation of L1s together.
Yeah. So Coinweb obviously has its own interoperability solution. How does it differ from, say, the inter-blockchain communication protocol?
To which one, sorry?
To the inter-blockchain communication protocol used by Cosmos and others.
Sure. So I think that everybody's missions are similar, but approaches are different. And as a result of the different approach, it throws off different functionality. So our approach is very similar to ZK rollups, for example, but we are cross-chain instead of just focusing on scaling the Ethereum platform. And also our approach very much takes into account building product on top of our protocol, so that enterprises and projects and developers can actually use that product, and that effectively is our go-to-market strategy. And we see less of that from the likes of Cosmos, Chainlink, and the likes.
Yeah. So we've obviously spoken about a future where multi-chains are likely to succeed. Do you think Ethereum will retain its first mover advantage and sort of retain that real kind of leadership at the moment, especially in kind of DeFi and the amount of value locked in that chain?
From Ethereum taking the lead, Ethereum is always going to be a mainstay within the space. Ethereum is also going to get more useful as scaling solutions, roll-up solutions are introduced to solve scaling issues. Is Ethereum going to be the answer for absolutely everything? I think it unlikely. Typically speaking, new chains that are introduced come along with new functionality just by way of design. And I think that the answer really will be is how you can build on top of multiple chains and take advantage of multiple chains functionality opposed to just the Ethereum ecosystem's functionality, was as rich as it may be, may not be able to compete with the likes of Solana on high throughput, high volume transactions.
So, speaking of Solana, there, do you think Solana is going to bounce back after all the chaos of the past couple of weeks?
I think they need to be focused on bringing some stability to their network. There have been a number of outages this year. Also, they were subject to problems from FTX, so they were inadvertently caught up in. But they do have network stability issues. And once again, not trying to bring it all back to layer 2 interoperability. Layer 2 interoperability does answer a lot of the problems with Solana. So if Solana does have an outage or there's a problem, then you can migrate those transactions across to another chain. But they do high throughput, high volume very, very well when it works.
Okay. So carrying on from that, what is the most promising blockchain in your opinion?
I think there are a number of chains that are exceptionally promising in their specific areas. I wouldn't highlight one. The guys at Cardano, Elrond, ICP, they're very, very smart. And what they're doing in their specific areas, I think they're market leaders for. And I don't see that changing or any immediate challenges to them in their specific areas anytime soon.
You're not a politician, are you? Because that was a very diplomatic answer.
We are a layer 2 protocol.
So what will Coinweb be focusing on in 2023 and beyond?
So we really pretty much know the roadmap that we're going to be executing for next year. We're already in talks with a number of high-level household name enterprise projects to build and launch on top of us. We've already built a project being an e-wallet and a cross-chain loyalty token for one of the top 5 car manufacturers in the world that we will be shipping in February of 2023, which we're excited to announce in January at the latest. And then we have in talks with a number of tier 1 exchanges about listing with them and getting access to their communities and building bridges, internal bridges, that is, Coinweb bridges, to many L1 blockchains as well. So we've got a very busy year cut out for us in 2023. And we're hoping towards the end of 2023, the market will see a mainnet launch where developers can build directly on top of us using our public SDKs and APIs when we move away from being in a permission state.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds like a busy year ahead. I look forward to reporting on all of it. So thank you for the interesting conversation, Toby. And
thanks for your time.
Thank you.